I cannot see what Bose will bring to McIntosh.
I know Bose always gets crapped upon.
My first reaction was shock and horror and disbelief. Things are not going well. Okay, so this is a topic that I literally just thought we should do, since the three of us are together and we don't ever get a chance to sit down all that often together. And it is regarding the most recent controversy about Bose acquiring the McIntosh group. I've received a whole bunch of emails. I've had comments from clients who are visiting, and virtually all of them have been snide comments. Virtually all of them. Clients who visit are generally friends of ours. I would like to call them friends because we get to know each other quite well. And so there's this friendly banter, and especially when they know, we have this kind of relationship where it's fun to dig at each other, right? It's like when family members get together. Now, maybe not all family members, I don't know. Maybe your family is the kind of loving, supportive, when you see each other, you always uplift each other. Not my family. My family, when we get together to show our love, part of it is to jab at each other, to make fun of each other, and that's how we show love. And among us, although we don't do that as much, every so often for fun, we will jab at each other, and that's okay, as long as we're adult and we know it's just, it's in love. So I've been getting a lot of that. In fact, somebody sent me a whole list of contraction of the two names, which I thought was really funny. I should have written them down just to sort of give you an idea of how inventive this gentleman is. The contraction of name and McIntosh and name and Sonus Faber, and you get a new word, and I thought it was really funny. There was also, I can't remember whose video that went online, but a picture of a McIntosh amplifier, but instead of saying McIntosh in the center, it said Bose.
I think it was Andrew Robinson.
Was it Andrew Robinson?
Yeah,
good job, Andrew. I don't think you'll be getting another McIntosh in the future. But I thought that was classic. Good job. Anyway, so I thought maybe we should cover it and talk about how we originally felt. In fact, I don't think I've actually asked the boys how they felt about this, and then I'll tell you how I feel and what I think now compared to how I felt right at the beginning. So to underline this, we found out as dealers, as one of the biggest dealers in Canada, we found out the same time that everybody else did. We didn't get any advance notice. It was all at the same time. And so anyway, from there, Louis, what do you think?
Well, first things first, there is not one good comment about this. From my experience...
No, when you say, let's underline it, not one good comment from you or from other people?
From other people.
Okay, all right. Let's just be clear.
No. I stay out of the fray. The thing is that with PE companies buying PE company bought McIntosh and
you
flipped
mean private
it.
Equity?
Yeah, private equity. And they flipped it within, 3 years?
Typically 4 to 5 years, yeah.
I don't think it was 5 years. I don't think it was 5 years that they bought it. But anyways, it was a short span. And typically they don't flip things this quickly. So I think they probably sold it for a good profit to Bose, which has large pockets. But I cannot see Bose, which is a much bigger company, adding any benefit to McIntosh. So buying McIntosh, they will have to take out money out of McIntosh. So prices will have to go up. Now, at this time, I don't know whether that will work if they do that. But it's just something I look at and I'm going,
Why do you think, so this is intriguing, why do you think that, and by the way, guys, as you know, as I said earlier, we haven't spoken about this, so this is all news to me as far as how the boys think. Why do you think Bose, there's nothing that Bose can add to McIntosh, and or that you think that they're going to take money from McIntosh?
They're going to pilfer McIntosh?
Well, McIntosh is by far the creme de la creme of audio. Whether you like the sound of it or not, that we're not talking about that part, but we're talking about recognition factor, years of in business. I think it's a very successful manufacturer. I cannot see what Bose will bring to McIntosh. I visited them last year, McIntosh. I don't think there's much room for expansion building-wise. With the new addition, which they did for expansion. I just can't see what Bose will bring to the table to help McIntosh. I don't know if McIntosh has anything what Bose needs. As a bigger company, they still have, if they have that much reserves in cash, they could easily, do startups if they wanted to compete with McIntosh. So I just really don't know. I've tried to think it through, but I just cannot see. I just cannot see the love affair.
The dark days.
I don't know. Please, if somebody has any more insight into this, fill me in.
Okay.
I have no problem with it. I really don't. I know Bose always gets crapped upon, but they have a lot of reach out there in terms of, for example, sound reinforcement PAs. They're one of the tops. Wearables, they're one of the tops. Who knows? Maybe there'll be an influx of cash for McIntosh. And as well, between Sonus Faber and McIntosh, maybe Bose can get something out of it. I don't know if Bose has an anechoic chamber. Now they do. McIntosh has one. They have all, we've never really said great things about their speakers in the last few decades, but now with Sonus Faber on board, maybe they'll have they'll get some manpower knowledge, right? So I have no problem with it, and who knows, maybe the influx of cash will go the other way and it'll go from Bose to McIntosh and Sonus Faber. Because McIntosh, you're right, McIntosh, when you think of audiophile brands, they're one of the tops that come to mind.
Oh, by far.
So they've bought a lot of clout. Bose has bought a lot of clout in the audiophile world, and who knows? I have no problem with it.
Yeah.
And McIntosh has been owned by 5 different companies in the last 2.5 decades, maybe, or something like that, and nothing's happened to them. They got a great manufacturing facility down there in Binghamton. They print their own circuit boards there. It's an all-in-one facility. So with all these owners that have come and gone, they've stayed. They've been a rock. There's no reason to believe that they won't continue to be a rock.
Yeah, but what happens is that once you keep buying a company, the value of the company keeps going up. But eventually, you will hit a peak where it has to pay for itself.
Yeah, now they have Bose's advertising arm. They have Bose's network reach. Maybe it's a good thing for them.
After 75 years, I think they've been in business longer than Bose.
Bose's been around for a long time as well.
So my first reaction was shock and horror and disbelief. I certainly expected at some point that the previous private equity firm would sell. It from what I understand, and it's not by any means confirmed, private equity firms will buy companies sometimes for tax purposes and then dump a bunch of money in to show that they've lost money for tax purposes, and then at some point recoup it, sell it, and then just do it over and over again. And as Mike pointed out, McIntosh has been bought and sold multiple times over the decades. So this is not new. Why I guess I was dismayed is because all the other private equity firms in the past were not generally in the industry. They were just basically people who were doing it for financial reasons, but done in such a way that it kept the companies going well. I wasn't so sure about what Bose might or might not do. God forbid that we've seen things in the past where other manufacturers in our industry have bought other brands and then have shelved the brands. So the brands now become defunct. It has happened quite a few times. And so I was afraid that this might happen to either or both of the brands, Sonus Faber and McIntosh. But then as I thought about it longer, I thought, well, it doesn't make a lot of sense that Bose would do that to then shelve these companies because they would have paid a pretty penny for it. And for what reason would
They don't compete with Bose.
Right, exactly. For what reason would they want to do that? So as far as strategic alliance possibilities, well, as Mike pointed out, Bose is dominant when it comes to wearables. Their headphones are very well known. My kids early on, a few years ago, asked me if we sold Bose because they wanted the noise cancellation headphones. And Bose is one of the top brands for that. Many people don't realize that in the encrypted ear set world, Bose is one of the top players. And if you look at, for example, Formula One or NFL, film sets, Department of Defense, NASA, and so on, Bose is a big player in those industries. And then sound reinforcement, churches, stadiums, Bose is a very big player. And not to mention the car audio business. Many of you may own cars that have Bose systems inside. And that's one area I think that maybe McIntosh might get some benefit out of. Because McIntosh has been trying to get into the car industry, and so has Sonus Faber for a very long time. And why is this important? Because from the standpoint of cash flow, the car industry can be extremely lucrative. Because instead of selling one system at a time or one amplifier at a time and so on, you're selling a contract to a GM, a Porsche, a Fiat, or whoever the case may be, and that contract could be worth many millions. And so that can increase the growth of the business very quickly. So that's an area where Bose could bring expertise and or connections to both Sonus Faber and to McIntosh. So there's perhaps some good things there. Will it affect the way that McIntosh works? I don't know, and I certainly hope not, because for the most part, our relationship with McIntosh has been great. We order products, if they have it in stock, they ship it typically the same day or the next day, and we get it in a few days. It's wonderful. The service department is very good. The agents that look after us are wonderful people. So I certainly hope that none of that changes. I have no doubt that there'll be some efficiency controls that will be updated and upgraded, maybe even purchasing, but that would be where on McIntosh's side and on Sonus Faber's side, I suspect that some of that will happen. I'm optimistic that the overall relationship will be a positive one. But I guess we won't know for maybe a couple of years and 3 years or however long it's going to be when we start seeing some of the changes that take place, if any changes that take place. I can certainly see, for example, a McIntosh branded noise cancellation headphone. It could be a Bose, but a McIntosh version of it for more money. And we know McIntosh buyers who would buy a McIntosh branded pair of headphones as opposed to a Bose. We know that to be the case. I can certainly see that. So fingers crossed, it's mostly positive, and at least I do, look forward to that. And if it's not, then we'll do another video and we'll talk very plainly and very honestly about it. The one thing that I will say I'm a little bit disappointed about, given how there's been so much speculation and so much negativity, I'm kind of surprised that the top people at both McIntosh and Sonus Faber haven't come out and done a video presentation with either their dealers or with the public at large. In today's world with YouTube, they could easily have sat in front of a camera or a phone and just said, hey guys, just to put your minds at rest, you guys have been great and loyal clients of ours for all these years. We just want you to know that nothing fundamentally will change. If anything, in fact, it will be a good, positive thing. And I'm kind of disappointed to not see that kind of reaction from the heads of
maybe
both
because something is changing. You never know.
Yeah. Well, again, we're expressing our honest thoughts. We're sharing with you, our community, and I want to believe that there'll be positivity rather than negativity. And hopefully people at both McIntosh and Sonus Faber will hear from more than just us, all their other people, and say, yeah, maybe we should put out this fire before it gets a little bit too big. And if nothing else, at the very least, it will settle people down. And if in fact there's nothing to worry about, and if God forbid there is something to worry about, then
Yeah, and Lewis mentioned that he was down there. We were both down at McIntosh last year. First Lewis went, then I went for 3 days each. God forbid something happens to that factory, because you can tell when you walk into a workplace if it's a happy workplace or not a happy workplace. Everyone was very jovial at McIntosh, whether you were in the front in the admin or whether you went into the warehouse or into the manufacturing facility. So hopefully that stays intact. Like it seems like they have a nice family there.
Yes. Most of the workers there have been there a long time.
Yeah, you can tell, yeah.
So, which is good. And you don't want to upset that, right? So,
No.
because, if, you start to cut back on staff or whatever it is, and people see that, it's not a good environment for people working there to see something like that happen. So, I don't know. I just don't see, I don't feel anything. Maybe as what Adrian said, the heads have not come out to say something, which they think they should. But who am I? But,
well, if you see us carrying Bose, you'll know that things are not going well.
no, don't see it.
Anyway, thanks for watching this rambling thing. Again, it was just a spur of the moment decision to make this video to share our thoughts. And these are actually our real thoughts. I haven't shared my thoughts with the boys. They haven't shared it with me. And this is the first time we're actually talking about this together. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you again next time. Take care. Bye-bye.